A Canadian newspaper is sounding the alarm that the 2022 midterm elections could be the catalyst for widespread instability, not just in the United States, but also globally, writing, the most dangerous force in the world going into 2022 might not be in Beijing or Moscow, but in the United States. Its name is Trumpism. The U.S. is sleepwalking toward calamity, one that could take the rest of the world with it. Joining us now is Tony Keller. He is the editorial page editor of the Globe and Mail. Tony, thanks so much for being with us. So why is it that you think that Trumpism, as it were, isn't just dangerous to the United States, but the biggest threat to the world?
Yeah, well, look, the United States is, you're the indispensable superpower. We and the rest of the world will always have things we disagree with you on. We'll criticize you, just as there's disagreements within U.S. politics. But at the end of the day, you're the indispensable superpower. You're the leader of the free and democratic world, and we need your politics to go well for the rest of the world to prosper. It basically comes down to that. If you go off the rails, things are not going to go well for the rest of the free, democratic, rule of law world.
You zero in, the Ed Board does in this op-ed, on the big lie, which, of course we look at, or many people do, not all, here in America, and say, yeah, that is a problem, but maybe we think it's our problem. You make the point, it's not just an American problem. This is a problem for other countries, a problem for Canada as well. What do you worry is the domino effect outside the U.S. of the big lie?
Yeah, I think it just provides inspiration. First of all, it provides inspiration for forces that question democracy, that question the rule of law. And second of all, it provides space and opportunity for countries like China and Russia, which they might not otherwise have if the United States is strong and stable and lined up with its allies, and we're kind of all on the same page. There's sort of a sense that the democratic world is kind of backsliding in many different countries and many different places. I know you did a segment a while ago on sort of the various strongmen that are inspired by Trump and that Trump cheers on. And that's a problem. When it's a small country that's backsliding, it's not really a big deal to the rest of the world if things aren't going well in Hungary. But as soon as it's the United States, it's a completely different story. As I said, you're the indispensable superpower. If we got superheroes in the world, we don't have a whole Justice League of superheroes. We have the United States of America, and no superpowers that are on the Democratic side beyond that. So it's a problem if the U.S. is going off the rails.
I appreciate the superhero reference because now I understand it. But when you say off the rails, what do you mean by off the rails?
Well, look, right now, I think, I would be concerned about Trump returning as president of the United States. Looking at things right now, it looks like President Biden has a lot of problems, a lot of challenges getting his agenda through Congress because it is completely deadlocked. It just feels like U.S. democracy, which has long been an inspiration to the rest of the world, even when we criticize things about U.S. foreign policy, U.S. domestic policy, whatever it may be, the U.S. has been kind of the liberal inspiration to the rest of the world for a couple of centuries. And right now, it seems like the disagreements are so deep that people on the left and people on the right are willing to treat a U.S. election like a life or death matter. Like if their side loses, it's game over. And that is, I don't have an answer for you for what to do about that, but that is a big, big problem when an election becomes a life or death matter for one or both sides in the election.
Well, let us know when you get the answer. We could use it. Tony Keller, as I said, I appreciate the Justice League reference. What I should have said is it would be more appropriate if you reference Alpha Force being Canadian and all, inside baseball there.